add us to the stream.
Okay, there we go.
Ah,
I was panicking.
I can see me now.
There we go.
Well, good morning, everybody.
I was panicking.
I can see me now. See how that's loud? I wonder if it's because the volume's way up on the computer. Good morning, everybody.
I don't know because I have my phone volume up, so I'm not sure. I don't think it shouldn't affect, let's see, audio, internal mic.
Echo cancellation. I don't know. Oh, well.
Oh, automatically adjust mic volume. Maybe we'll turn that down just a fuzz and try
See
that.
if that helps.
Yeah. We're not yelling at people.
All right.
We're early.
So we are a little early. Good morning, everybody. I've kind of been trying to say good morning to everybody in the chat this morning as you came in, but good morning, Jesse and Lisa and Annette over at Apple Tree Urban Homestead and Brenda at Redbird Farms. I am Betty J. Gathers. Good morning. Thank you for coming in this morning. So we didn't really have a topic to talk about this morning, and I think that there was a reason for that. So we couldn't think of what we wanted to discuss and visit about. And yesterday we were in Jesse's live when he was giving away stuff for his 500 subscribers, and man, did he have some people in there yesterday.
That was awesome.
And thank you, Jesse and Lisa, for all that. I know you guys didn't have, sponsors for all the stuff you gave away, so you were obviously paying for all that stuff out of your own pocket and just in appreciation and kindness out of your own heart. So we appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else did too. Yes, Chris, the topic kind of did fall into our lap this morning or last night, I guess. So
I think I know who put it there.
Yeah. So, like I said, we didn't have a topic, but God always kind of has plans of his own. So we try to make plans and they don't always work out the way we want them to. So after we got off of Jesse and Lisa's live yesterday, we had dinner and things like that. So we weren't able to jump on the actual live stream for Creekside Maples, Tony and Joni over at Creekside Maples, but I did jump in there to watch it back. And normally I will watch a video from the beginning, and I don't usually make, especially the live streams when they're long like that, I don't usually make it through all the way, but I made it through about the first couple minutes of the beginning, and for some reason I just scrolled. And it's not like I scrolled and then scrolled again and scrolled again to find some part of it that I enjoyed listening to or whatever, but I scrolled one time and it stopped basically at the part where they were visiting about not knowing where they were going to go or what they were going to do, but God had a plan, and definitely could feel the emotion in that conversation. So God does have a plan. But so that's kind of what we're going to do this morning. We invited Tony and Joni to join us this morning so that they could share their story. So we're going to go ahead and pull them in here now that it's 9 o'clock and kind of let them visit a little bit.
Okay, so we're going to go here. Stream. Hey, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, we're good.
Good.
We're good.
Good.
It's a beautiful day outside. The sun's shining, and so you can't complain. It's all good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So we kind of saw your story a little bit yesterday. We didn't catch all of it, and we just figured we'd invite you guys up to share if you wanted to, if you're able to. And obviously, I know it's kind of an emotional subject to talk about, but if you guys want to share that, and everybody can kind of listen in and chime in and just kind of go from there. So.
Well, first, we want to say thank you to you folks for inviting us. This community is an amazing community to just be there and help us and so many others that go through tough times. It's just an amazing thing to watch how God just causes our paths to cross and always has reasons for meeting people. It's amazing. So first, thank you. And to everybody that was in our chat, our live last night, I'm sure some of them will be here today. And we appreciate that. We really do. So, yeah. And Missouri, I mean, We lived in Missouri a long time.
I was just going to say that. I don't think we've officially met, but I thought that was so neat. Of course, the Lord does all things well, right? Everything he does is top notch. And I thought that was just an extra special touch because
Yeah.
Missouri is very dear to our hearts.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you guys lived in Missouri.
Where at in Missouri?
We pastored a church in Joplin, Missouri for quite some
That's about
time.
2 hours south of us.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We traveled full time as evangelists for a long time, and then went to Joplin, and they asked us to stay there, so we did, and then built a church and was there for quite some time, and that's where we were until we moved back to Canada. We're from here originally,
Okay.
but we were there but we love Missouri. It was
Definitely.
a lot of good friends in Missouri.
Yep.
So.
Crazy. Yeah, see,
Sure.
that's something we didn't even know that you guys, did you know that?
I didn't know that at all.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the Lord knew.
Right.
Yes.
So right off the bat, we have something in common.
All in the Lord's perfect timing. So
That's right.
Well, he does all things well, like we said, and so I don't know where you want us to really begin. It's kind of a long story, and we don't want to bore anybody or anything, but we can jump in. I think to understand the entirety of the story, we probably need to give a little bit of the backstory. If that's okay.
the floor is yours this morning. So we didn't have a topic of discussion. We wanted
Hold
to
on,
kind of
though.
give it to you. So
Jesse says it sounds like you have a YouTube page with the volume still up. It's probably the one on your PC. The
I know
only
we don't.
the only thing I have open is StreamYard, and my phone is completely. Let me see what it sounds like.
they just turn it off because we can just comment on here. I said I don't hear an echo on the phone either, but
It sounds fine on here.
just turn your phone off.
So I'm going to turn my phone off. Any comments that are going on, I'll try and keep tabs on here. But ultimately, our goal today was just to kind of give them the floor, let them share their story. And so I'll try and keep up with comments through the computer. But am I echoing or anything still? Because I didn't hear it on my phone. Does anyone hear an echo where you're not going to be able to hear?
That's good here.
You sound really well here.
Yeah.
And perhaps he was referring to us. I'm not sure.
But we don't have anything.
I don't
open.
have anything else
No.
open at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna say everything's clear on our end, so I don't know.
Okay.
So let's just roll with it. Echo is gone now. There's my
That's
phone.
good. Good.
Good.
That's good. Good.
Tony's always a jokester.
Now I see why we met you guys through Jesse and Lee.
Oh yeah.
But so anyway, yeah, we after leaving Missouri, we came back here. It's been about 6 years,
Mhm.
and so it was interesting when we came back. We wanted some ground. We wanted to homestead and those sort of things. So coming back into Canada, it created somewhat of a situation for us because we had been gone for so long. And so we really didn't have any identity or any ID or anything here in Canada. So to come back, we needed to get a piece of property, obviously, that we could afford, number one, but we could enter into some kind of landowner purchase lease agreement. Because that was until we had our residency here again for a long time. Well, they said up to 3 years. Then it's hard to go to the bank and get money loaned, a loan, because they don't look at it the same way here in Canada as they do in the US. And so that created a hurdle for us, but it was overcome pretty quickly because we found this piece of ground, 40 acres. And it was very, very run down. It was a mess.
Mhm.
You couldn't live in the house. There was trash everywhere. We didn't know whether to burn it down and build again or renovate.
Right.
It was just a mess.
But we saw the potential.
Yeah, it was great potential. So anyway, we entered into an agreement with the owner, and there was stuff on paper, and we signed and they signed, and that agreement was to be renewed every 2 years. You know, and the monies that we spent were a mortgage payment towards the mortgage. And to understand the scenario, our first year back here, I had a motorcycle accident, and it wasn't my fault. However, it caused me to be disabled basically for a very long period of time. It took a little over 2.5 years, because the healthcare system here is horrible. So it took over 2.5 years just to get an MRI on my shoulder and my knee and things like that.
Gosh.
During that time, I lived in intense pain. I had 5 tears. This whole shoulder was tore to pieces. And being an electrician and being a general contractor, I no longer could work. And so that created a huge problem financially.
No doubt.
Yeah. And so then I had the surgery to repair the shoulder. And then it's a year of physio and waiting to be released to even go back to work. And so basically I ended up with about 75 to 80% use of my arm, my shoulder, but I no longer can do the work I used to do. During that time, we have a lawsuit that is being waged against the powers that be because of the accident that was not my fault. And we're trying to get a settlement from that. It's been over 4 years and we still haven't seen any of it, not a dime. And so part of the agreement to purchase this land was to pay forward our mortgage payment to the landowner each month, which we have never missed a payment. And then once we got our settlement, we were going to pay the balance off to them. That was and still is in our mind the agreement we had. And that was on paper, but it's renewed every 2 years. So last December, when the housing costs went through the roof here, the market went just nuts. We had an agreement for $100,000 for this property. Someone came in and offered them $280,000.
Ooh.
So they began to look for loopholes.
Sure.
Oh, I bet.
Because they wanted that money.
Right.
And so they came in last December and told us, here's what we're going to do. It's sold, blah, blah, blah. And we were devastated. Well, then they came back 2 days later and apologized and said, no, we're not going to do that to you. We're going to honor the agreement we have, and we'll renew the lease in May, the 1st of May, and onward we go. Well, we waited for that renewal to come, but they kept dragging their feet until just 3 days before May 1st, they called us and said, we're selling. And I said, what do you mean you're selling? I thought that was settled. Well, we changed our mind again. And so now the house is going to be gone. We have to move. And all of our investments gone. We have no recourse that we know of to recoup anything we've put into the property. We've brought the property value way up because it's livable. It's decent. It looks good. We've built our home here. I've built a barn here, and my sawmill is set up here, and this is where we live. This is our homestead. This is where we do our maple syrup. I mean, all the stuff we show in the videos. And so they just basically pulled everything out from underneath us. The problem that creates is that I have not worked a job since my accident, because of getting this repaired and physio and everything else. And so, and this is a tough story to tell, but now, when I went to the bank to try to get rest of the money, they looked at us and said, you don't have an REO. Well, here in Canada, REO is a record of employment. It doesn't matter what your credit rating is here. What matters is, can you prove to them that you have a monthly income to pay that loan back? And if we can't prove that, if we can't show them paperwork for that, then you can't borrow money. And so that's where we're at, because I tried to explain to them, look, I worked my whole life. This little segment of time is because of an injury that I had nothing to do with. That's why I can't show you income. And I have no income from the insurance company. We have no government assistance. We have no retirement, none of those things. And so now we're at a place where it's, what do we do? You know, we are totally stuck.
Right.
So we're not sure what we're going to do. However, we're trying to, there's a song Crowder sings, and it's called I Am. And it just says, I am holding on to you. And that's what the attitude that we've adopted is. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We have no clue how this is going to work out. We don't know where we're going from here. We just know this chapter's done, but the book's not finished. So there's another chapter beginning. And so we're trying to balance our emotions, our disappointment, with some enthusiasm to realize that God knew this was going to happen. He knows the end from the beginning. And he stands at our end and going, come on, I've been through that, so you can make it. And so we know it's not going to kill us.
Right.
However, it just is very, very difficult to deal with, because everything we've got is invested here.
It's a lot
So
of
our
work.
plan, yes. So our plan is to start looking for new property, and we have one that's very promising. We're going to look at it this weekend in another province in New Brunswick. It's where my wife's mother lives, and it's close to her, so that we can be closer to her and our kids and everything. How we're going to pay for it, God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. So he's having a cattle sale if anybody's buying. And so what we're doing is trusting God. Last night was incredible. We saw people just all of a sudden just give, and we
and the positive,
yeah,
the positive. We're still feeding on that, and I know some of you are in here again. I'm trying to read some comments, and thank you all so much. And thank you to you fine folks again for hosting us. But what a community.
Yeah.
What a community of faith-filled people.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt and I'm still feeling. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, because, you know, we're all going through something. We are. You've either just come out of a trial, or you just got out of one, or if you've skipped it, just wait a minute or two and you're going to be in one. That's just life. And we draw strength from each other. So I just want to reiterate that just quickly.
Yeah. As
Tony mentioned last night's live stream, and thank you everyone who come on and encouraged us and sent us. We get up this morning, we had notes and emails, and that is more precious to me, most precious. Those things you just hold them in your heart, and they carry you. Yeah. Yes, we need them. Unfortunately, our world runs today on money, unfortunately. But I want you to know that these words are strength.
You know, and it is. And so many people have reached out and are reaching out, including you wonderful people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's very difficult for me to be this transparent. Mm-hmm. Because, and Joni can attest to this, you know, I've been a very strong individual my whole life.
You've been able to fix a lot of things.
Yes, I've been able to put my mind to it and find a fix. But I can't fix this. All I can do is what I can do. Yeah. And so we believe the first step is finding a new homestead. And when I say that, we're not looking for extravagance. I said this to
No.
Joni
We
2 or
may
3
very likely
times.
live in a tent for a while.
I would rather have a tent on my land
Absolutely.
that I own than a mansion
Absolutely.
on someone else's.
The good thing is you're going into spring, so at least it wouldn't be winter if you was in a tent for a time.
Right.
Well, that's it,
right,
you know. And so for us, when I set my mind to work, stuff gets done. I'm a workaholic, and so I'm not afraid of the work. I'm not afraid of putting my hand to doing it. It will get done. But for us, it's, you know, finding that piece of ground is the first step. Like I said, we are going to go look at a piece. It's I think it's almost 20 acres. What's cool about it is, you know, we prayed, and I said, Lord, we're Creekside. We need a creek. And so I looked at different properties, and this one woman, she get back to me. She lives in the Yukon, which is 1,000 miles away from
the
here.
other side of Canada.
And she got back to me. She said, listen, she said, it's almost 20 acres.
Oh, thank you, Jesse and Lisa.
Jesse, you stop that. You're going to make me cry again. But, anyway, she got back to us and she said, we were going to build our homestead there, but changed our mind. And she said, there's nothing more we'd rather have than you folk building your homestead there. And I said to her, I said, is there a creek there? And she says, there's a creek that runs across the back end of it. And so it was like the light come on, and I thought, okay, this could be a sign from God.
Right. We have to watch for those signs because they are there.
Yeah.
And this morning, I have the Bible app on my phone. I'm sure a lot of you folks do the same thing. And I opened my Bible app, and my verse of the day was, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. I'm like, hey, Tony, look at this. Like, okay, we're going to keep delighting. And how you delight looks different for different people.
Yeah.
According to where you're at in life. For us right now, delighting ourselves, I guess, is just keeping a positive mindset, keeping the faith, believing, speaking it, believing it, moving forward as much as we can. We know we got a lot of work we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to empty this house we're sitting in. We said last night we're going to sell a lot of our stuff, and we're going to put those things in motion.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's just one of those things where God always works, but he expects us to do everything we can possibly do.
Yes.
And so we are not people, you know, we've preached this faith message for 30 years. You know, we have walked this. And so now it's time for us to walk what we preach.
Right.
You know,
right.
And I said this on our live Easter Sunday. We were invited to speak at a church in a neighboring province. And that Sunday night, I preached about Jacob and how that he had planned so well to meet his brother Esau, and how that he had his family over across the creek, Jabbok. He had everything in place. He felt totally secure. And the last time he saw Esau wanted to kill him. He hated him. So he prepared for that battle. That was the battle that he prepared for. What he wasn't prepared for is being all alone. And the minute he was all alone, some unnamed guy attacks him and they fight all night long.
Right.
And so the truth in that is, for us, for me, I realize now that what God was saying is, you guys have everything so prepared, but do you trust me when the battle you thought you were going to fight isn't the battle you'll be fighting?
Yep.
It's a totally different battle. One that you didn't think about, weren't prepared for, had no insight into, had no heads up about. And that's how we feel now, is that we're literally living my Sunday sermon on Easter Sunday. And so
there's just no coincidences with Christ. You know, there is just not a coincidence. So
no,
I would stretch to say that you preached the message for a reason.
Yeah, you know,
Definitely.
it was for us, you know.
Definitely. Definitely.
But anyhow, you know, it's a sad deal, but we have to pick up the pieces. We can't die here.
No.
You know, you just can't. You have to, for 2 or 3 days, honestly, folks, we couldn't even get out of bed.
No.
This ripped the guts right out of us.
Mhm.
It tore our heart and broke it and then stomped on the pieces. All of your enthusiasm, all your get up and go, all your energy, every bit of it is gone.
Sure.
And you're tormented by the unknown because none of us like change. And so we're tormented by that. But then you just have to get up, you know, accept the fact that calm has become chaos for a little while, and then realize there's some things in life we get around, and there's some things in life you go through. And this is one of those things for us that we can't find a way around it. So we have to go through it. So then it becomes for us a question of, what is our mindset going to be to go through it? Defeated, depressed, down and out, sitting in a corner moping, waiting on? No, we had to get up, dust ourselves off, and say, all right, if this is the journey, then let's hitch up the wagon and get ready, because we're heading somewhere. Don't know where. You know?
That's absolutely correct. And I love how you're allowing God to direct your path. This isn't your plan. So you don't get to pick the spot you're going to live. You don't get to plan it all out, and just let him have it. Have faith that whatever his plan is for you, he's going to show it to you, and you're going to be able to follow it. And I love that the lady was not in the area you were planning, and you're willing to go. Let him direct your steps.
I heard Jesse. I was visiting with Jesse last night on the phone a little bit, and he even said that somebody in your chat yesterday offered you 3 acres somewhere's in the U.S. though. So obviously it's away from kids and family, but it's just amazing what people will do.
It is. And again, we had a few others do the same thing. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, we woke up to messages. And again, the outpouring of support is just amazing. And again, I just feel to say it again, we draw strength. Everyone in here right now, take strength from each other. Because it's contagious. And I also want to say, I think Jessica, you just mentioned about it wasn't our plan, it was God's plan. And why wouldn't we trust him when you look at all he made? I don't know any better designer than him. Right?
Well, he says the steps of good people are ordered by God. You know, David said it this way. He said, thou preparest a table for me in the presence or in the midst of mine enemies. And so I'm sure David said, well, it would have been a lot easier. I could get to the table if I hadn't had to fight through all my enemies. But God never places anything out of reach.
No.
It doesn't matter what the description is around it. It's always within reach. He doesn't tease us with good things only to not have us or allow us to get to them. And so for us, we know somewheres is that table of land. We just have to fight through all the peripheral, the perimeter stuff. But it doesn't say David ran to the table. It just says he got to it. Maybe he had to crawl the last mile. I don't know. But he made it there. And he picked up the blessings. And so that's what we have to do, you know.
It's just hitting me like over and over again really hard. You know, when Jesus was on the boat with the disciples and the storm came and they panicked because he was in the bottom of the boat sleeping, and they had to go wake him up, and he says, you have little faith. And it's like, we can preach all this faith stuff, be strong, have faith, and all this encouragement. But when you're in your storm, it's so easy for that faith just to go away. And Yes. I love that you're standing firm there. You're rooted by the stream, firm in your faith, and keep going with that, because it's beautiful that you're stuck there. And obviously everyone in any situation like yours is gonna be down for a minute, but I love that you said we get up and dust ourselves off and we're ready to go. Where he leads us, we're going. And I love that.
Right. And Jessica, like you just referenced that Bible story, a very important thing we should always remember is God was in that boat during their storm. He was in their boat. So God is in all of our boats. We never forget that.
Well, sometimes, and it's funny you mention this, because it says that he was asleep. And I think sometimes we look at it and feel like, God's not doing anything. I mean, if you look at Calvary when Christ was crucified, I mean, it looks like he didn't do anything. I mean, this is Christ. He has all the power of heaven, could have called angels, but it looks like he just hung there and died. Because in our minds, sometimes we assess the day-to-day happenings and we feel like sometimes, well, God's just not doing anything. And I'm guilty of that. I'm being honest. I'm guilty of that. I preach this stuff, but I'm guilty of those doubts and those fears and all that mindset sometimes. But then you have to step back and realize, but 3 days later, out of the grave cave he comes. And so I have to always remember, it doesn't look like maybe he's doing much right now, but he's going to be. He's working somewheres for our good.
Always working.
And that story you mentioned about the disciples in the boat and everything, to me, there's another story that goes right along with that, because it says he was on the mountaintop and they were in the vessel, and it says the boat was full of water. And I pick up those little things in the scriptures. It says that boat was full of water. Well, any boat I've ever seen full of water should have already sunk.
Yes.
So these disciples are panicked, missing the obvious, because no one was standing there going, you know what? This boat is full of water, but it's still on top of the water. And, God is Jesus is sitting on the hillside, and it says he watched them in their toiling. It said, that's what it says. I've read this. It says, he said, I watched them toil. I watched them battle. And I said to the Lord, I said, why, if you're so merciful, if you're so gracious, and if you love us this much, why would you sit there and watch us toil? Because he said, I want you to always know it was me who got you out of that mess.
Every time.
Because you see, those were professional fishermen in that boat. They knew how to fish. This isn't their first storm. This isn't their first time where they had to bail out the boat. This isn't the first thunder and lightning they saw on the Sea of Galilee. And so that's what I feel like God is saying to us. Like, I just want you to know that when you exhaust all of your know-how and all of your abilities, when you're ready to just stop and realize you can't get out of this one by something you make, build, video, chat, nothing. So you go ahead and exhaust yourself. But when it's done, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to guarantee to you, you're going to get me.
Yes. Yes.
And that's perfect, because you said at the beginning of this that you've always been able to work your way out of things. You've always been able to fix it. Not this one. See, God's going to fix this. Now lay it at his feet and watch him work, and be willing to follow where he leads you. Like, I can't wait a year from now just to see your story and be like, this is where we were. This is where God led us, because he's not going to leave you hanging. You're your faith in him. You're following his way, and you're surrendering to it. He's not going to just leave you.
No, well, he hung
that's
so we don't have to.
Very true.
You keep tearing up on here, Tony, and we're all going to be in tears, and then we won't be able to talk.
Don't say that.
It's tough. I'm emotional about it because, men can handle a lot of things. And I've had to handle a lot of things in my life. My childhood was horrendous and growing up, and I had to go to work when I was, 13, and I've been working hard ever since. My biggest struggle is I feel like I let my wife down. I'm uprooting her, and she doesn't need this stress. She doesn't. And I want to give her that mansion, and she doesn't want it.
No.
She's happy to be in a tent with me. But what man doesn't want to give his wife the best of the best? And I think that's part of my struggle, and my emotional part of it is, I want her to be looked after. And I feel like, and I'm being very transparent. You'll have to forgive me if it's too transparent. But I'm not 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I want her to have a roof over her head. I want her to be looked after. And I feel like this has totally destroyed her security. And so that's a struggle for me. It
Sure.
really is.
I don't think it's bad that you're being transparent. I think it's beautiful. I think the humility, God hates pride. So the humility that you're showing and saying, this is where my struggle is fantastic. And it sounds to me like the fact that you seem to be equally yoked, you've given her everything she could ever need. You know what I mean? Like that's what you can do. You can walk alongside her in her faith.
That's right.
To encourage her in Christ. And
that is right.
The physical roof might be gone for a minute, but I'm in awe. It's just, what do you do in a situation like this? And it seems like you're just handling it in such a way that's pleasing to Christ. And you're right. This community I've said it since day one, because I didn't know a homestead community. I don't know if you know much about us, but we're new to this. So it's all new to me. And I'm like, wow, God says that knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. And that's what this community has done. While all the world is competing with each other and trying to backbite and tear each other down, this community truly has been like, let's lift each other up. And I just love the Christ-like example that it has in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I want to say, Jessica, again, in response to your comments, and Tony knows this, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation on this very topic. I get, where he's coming from the male provider perspective.
Yep.
But in just a few days, we're going to celebrate 32 years being married.
Yeah.
34 together. Thank you. And I have always looked at our relationship, those years, that's an investment in and of itself. You cannot put a dollar value on it. And I've told him, and he knows this, I'm not about the things. If they come, wonderful, but I'm not about the things. And in our years together, home has looked different in those years.
Yeah.
For 6 of those years, home was a fifth wheel trailer that we traveled all over in. And that was wonderful. That was home. So the Lord gives, the Lord takes away. And you can buy possessions. They don't mean very much to me. I don't put much stock in them. But the greatest possession is what we have. And whether that's in a tent or a tent trailer, a cozy little cabin, we have our greatest possession, which is the investment of us.
Well, at the end of the day, long as we're strong,
yes,
and that's an agreement we made over 30 years ago, is at the end of the day, life is tough, but you can't lose sight of each other during the battle.
Right.
You can't. And that's the agreement we have, is this is probably going to be one of the toughest things that we're going to have to walk through. There's no getting around it. We've got to, this is it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as long as we can still crawl into bed, exhausted as we may be, hurting as much as, old Mr. Arthritis hurts us and all of those things, as long as we're together and as long as we're still smiling and laughing about it, then we can enjoy the journey. And that for me, I wouldn't want to do it without her.
Absolutely.
I'm a mess today.
I would rather you be transparent and humble and be you than put on a fake face full of pride and have some strong man attitude about it. This is real. You got to be
Right.
real. People have
Right.
to know, people want to help, and they have to know what you're going through. And if you're full of pride and say, I got this, no one's going to be able, you're wrecking their blessing. No one's going to be able to help you. So
Right.
I
Right.
think it's great. I wouldn't apologize for it one bit. And now this land you said that's like 20 acres. You said it's like 1,000 miles away from where you are currently.
No, the woman that owns it is 1,000 miles away.
Right.
Okay.
The land is 6.5 hours away from here.
Okay.
And so, but we have to go look at it. We're going to go this weekend.
So this
You
is
know-
not the 18 acres that you mentioned in your live.
This is 18 acres. Yes.
Okay, it is that 18 acres. Okay.
And we will take you all along.
Yeah, we're going to film it.
We're gonna start filming. I mean, this
That's
is going
yeah.
to be a journey. And
Well, this morning we got up, and of course we try to start every day with a bit of sunshine, if I can say it that way, because we feel that if we can get our mind right in the first hour we're up,
mhm.
then we can have a day that is right. And so, this morning we were sitting here drinking our coffee, and I said to Joni, I said, one thing about it, we're going to have lots of video material.
Yeah.
And I said, everyone's going to come along from the first drive onto the property
That's right.
to clearing the brush and the trees and the brush
You can
piles.
see it all over with
Right.
content.
Yeah, like there's
Right.
going to be, here we are in our tent, and here,
Yeah, it's gonna be a story.
it's going to be an adventure.
Because one thing we kind of wished with moving to this property, we've been here going on 5 years. We didn't have the channel then,
No.
and we wish we had of. We just it wasn't in our mind to start.
Yeah.
And to document right from the beginning, because even though there was a house here, I mean, like Tony already referenced, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So we're going, if we will get raw land.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be us and our Tony and Joni and Jesus.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I noticed the statement there by Raised Outdoors
There's so many
Arkansas,
good statements here.
and it says Paul suffered the loss of everything, but he's saying in the prison. And what is so remarkable about that story?
Yes.
And you have to forgive me for always.
Lots of messages.
I'm a word person. I just am.
He is. He's
but-
a studier.
But if you look at Paul and Silas in that prison, sometimes we want to herald or celebrate their ability to sing, but never forget it says that they were beaten and whipped and cut and lacerated, and they were dehydrated from blood loss.
Mhm.
They were thrown in there, drug in there. I mean, they were totally beat to pulp. Just
Totally.
their blood was all. I mean, they were beat up bad. And Paul, at the midnight hour, which is the darkest point in time, he looked at Silas and he said, I'm going to sing. And I always say it this way. Silas, I think, was waiting for his wounds to be healed. Paul, on the other hand, said, I can't wait for my wounds to heal to celebrate my faith.
Absolutely.
And for us, this journey that's beginning, I have to still sing, and I have to still celebrate our faith, even though it hurts so much.
Absolutely. Amen.
We've got to give praise to God in all things, the good and the bad. So
That's right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because what we have learned, and I know many of you, if we all could just have a little testimony service right now, I know there'd be a lot of great stories
Yeah.
that say through the pain, came power.
Yeah.
Through the test came the testimony. I mean, you know, we could all go on with those, but it's so true.
I love that Goss Mania Home said, even though even through my toughest days, I survived because the fire of God inside me is bigger than the fire around me.
That's right.
And I love that because it reminds me of Jeremiah. And here we go again. This is that Jeremiah said, it's like fire shut up in my bones. But when you look at the history of that writing, all Israel was plagued by paganism. Their barns were empty. They had no food in the pantry. They were slaves to the powers around them. Jeremiah was lamenting just a few chapters before, saying, how will this ever work out? There's no way that this is ever going to succeed. We're a mess. Everything is gone. Everything is nothing left. But then he jumps out of that ditch of self-pity and stands up and he says, however, it's like fire shut up in my bones. I have to keep going.
Yes.
And for us, that's the thing. We just have to, I don't know how, but God does. We just got to pick it up and go. So.
Oh, this here's interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to be relating to that very soon because we are in our 50s. Look at that.
But
isn't it neat sometimes how life, you'll go full circle in a lot of things?
Yep.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, I noticed that comment a little while ago. Thank you so much. We have someone in our home province.
Great Farmer
right now.
Freelance. Whereabouts are you? That'd be
Yes.
interesting. So, but,
where are you in
That's
the
my bummer is we're obviously in the States, and I don't know anybody in Canada.
except us?
But nobody.
We know you guys and obviously Shane at Great Farmer Freelance through YouTube, and then also Scott at Rambling with the Brums. He's
Yes.
another maple syrup guy.
Yep. Yes,
Is
Scott's
Scott-
up in Ontario.
You guys?
What's that now?
Is Scott near you guys?
No, he's in Ontario, which is probably about 20 hours, 22
20
hours
hours.
from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but no, it's we just have to believe it's going to be all right. And you know, there's tough times ahead. I'm not going to say there isn't. There's going to be stuff that's going to try our faith and struggles, and you know, how do we get from here to there, and you know, what do we live on, because that's a part of it too, is the only income that we have.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned this.
Yeah, is here on our homestead.
Yes.
That's it.
Right.
You know, we sell our lumber from the mill, our produce from the garden, eggs, meat, chickens, pork, all of those things, and we earn our living as such as it is from here. So now all of that's going to be uprooted.
Right.
You know, that's going to, because it will take us probably at least a couple of months to get stuff tore down and moved, because we're not just moving across town. So we have to make numerous trips, you know, back and forth, and to then, you know, we won't have a garden until next year. You know, we may be able to get 50 chickens raised sometime in September, October. I don't know. But we'll have no chicken coops. We'll have nothing. And so the whole ability for us to, or the entire ability for us to earn an income is now going to be wiped out. So there's those fears. And again, I go back to me as the breadwinner of, not that she hasn't been, but she had a fall. She worked for a grocery store, and she fell and hurt her collarbone and her shoulder and everything. And so she can't hardly lift anything. You know, she does her best, but I'm not about to send her across wherever to, if she's going to come home and cry because she's in pain all night long and can't sleep, that's not beneficial to her or to what we're doing. And so there's so many unknowns right now. Like, how are we going to survive? How are we going to have an income? What are we going to do? You know, but God knows.
Now, this
God knows.
property that you're going to look at, so you have Creekside maple, so you make maple syrup, right? Is
Yes.
that are there maples on this other property or lumber that you can mill? Is there income potential?
So we don't know because we have not seen the land, only pictures of it. Our hope is there are maple trees there because we love making the maple syrup. So that's,
Right.
you know, our hope also is that there is lumber there that we can mill because we're going to mill all of our own lumber to build our home. So there's so many unknowns right now. And again, that's what's fearful, you know, is that because like you can, yeah, there's people that have logs and yeah, there's people that have lumber and trees, but to get them, you have to purchase them. Okay, to purchase them, you need money. And again, so anyway, that's some of the things we're up against, you know.
You're going to
But
need
the
a
Lord-
all hands on deck support.
Oh,
People
it's
can
it's
help.
gonna be,
The physical part of it.
yeah,
And I
it's gonna be
believe
wild.
those people to you. Gosh, I wish you was here in Missouri still, because we'd be in the car with the trailer loaded up with material. And
I'd say if there wasn't a worldwide crisis going on right now and they would let people cross borders, I'd load the truck up and come out because I'm
Thank
not
you
afraid.
so
I'm not
much.
afraid of driving hours and hours and hours.
I don't know though. Can people from the States even cross the Canadian border right now?
Yeah, the borders are open now, and they don't even ask for.
And that's another thing we've not shared on location.
No, the location that we're looking at, it's kind of interesting because it's in a place called it's this little tiny out in the country place called Watson Settlement out from Woodstock, New Brunswick. It's about probably 40 minutes or less from my mother-in-law, and so which is good. But what we love about it is when we first got married, we lived in Woodstock, and our daughter was born in Woodstock. She was born in Woodstock. My wife's parents pastored a church in Woodstock.
We were married there.
And we were married in Woodstock. And so it's like
Lots of
we're
history.
going back to the very beginning where it all started. But another thing too is it's right close to the border. Like you can be in the
Yes.
US in like 10 minutes.
Yes, it
We're
borders on.
away and 5
You're
hours
about
away
30 hours
from
from
New
us.
Brunswick.
Oh yeah, I know. We moved from
Yeah, we moved
Joplin to here.
2,200
know.
miles.
Yeah.
We know.
So Jesse and Lisa are going to have to come here with the RV. We'll ride with them, hook the trailer up, and we'll come out and help.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Seriously though, you never know what could happen. If you guys go look at this property and God's like, hey, this is it, and you buy it, who knows, between our channel, your channel, Jesse's channel, all these other channels, there may very well be like a window of time where people are able to show up and physically help. So I'm anxious to see how the Lord
That
directs this.
Maybe if once we, the Lord works it out, and of course, getting it finances and all that. I told Joni, I said, wouldn't it be an amazing thing to just schedule a huge, I don't know, a meetup or whatever, and invite everybody and just hit it for like 3 days, 4 days, have an old fashioned barn raising or something.
That
I
would
said,
be
that'd
awesome.
be-
Everybody can come together to party and meet each other at these meetups, then I would assume easily that a good amount of people could come together to an organized event and say, you're doing the chicken coop, you're doing the garden, you're doing this, and just everybody. Yeah, I mean,
Jessica's
I think
dad,
it's great.
Tim Patterson, he's in here. He lives here with us. We actually recently remodeled our 2-car garage for a apartment area for him. So we moved him in, but he says he's in, so he's in for the road trip.
Okay.
Probably with a fifth wheel. I don't know how you drive 30 hours with a fifth wheel and a trailer full of equipment. So
We
you
just stay in hotels.
pack a tent. You just pack a tent.
Yeah, we'll sleep
I
in
know
a-
when we moved,
We have quite the story. We took 3 days
3
to
days. It
do
was
that
crazy.
move, and then
4 dogs, 2 kids.
Yes.
and everything we own.
And
U-Haul,
Tony was
truck,
driving
trailer.
the U-Haul. I was driving our truck with another trailer behind. And
But anyway,
but
we got
yeah,
here.
we got through it. But
So,
I want to again thank you guys for having us on,
No doubt.
It's-
I'm glad you're here.
because we may not all be neighbors,
but we are here.
but we are here. We're friends and family on here. And thank
Yeah.
the Lord for technology. This is the plus side of technology
Yeah.
right here. This is the good side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we believe that God's in it, and even and I want to predicate this by telling people that even last night, we want people to understand we're not on here begging for money. We're not on here. We're not doing that.
Not at all. Not at all.
We just said last night, if God talks to you and you want to do something,
Right.
then that's fine. But we're not going to sit on here and beg and plead, and we're not that. I don't know. That's not who I am. It's not who we are. We're just going to do what we can do, and God's going to do the rest.
Right.
But if you do,
we reached out to you asking you to
Yeah.
come and share your story. So
Yeah, we did.
it really touched Glenn's heart when he heard your story. I mean, we've just been in our place for coming up on a year, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has went into getting it to where it is now, like, we know that work. And after hearing your story, he was like, it's late notice, but we don't have anything planned for the live tomorrow. Let's see if they'll be on it. And there was never any begging. But this is how we're a community is. Everybody is willing to help. You can't help somebody when you don't know the struggle they're going through.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, I know Jesse and Lisa have been just troopers there.
Mhm.
They've been our friends for a long time, and they've been through so many journeys with us, and ups and downs and ins and outs and everything. And we're so close to them. They are just top tier, top notch
Yes,
people. They really
Yes,
are.
they are.
And so we appreciate them as well, and helping us out, through these lives, and mentioning us yesterday on theirs. He did put the link up to PayPal. I think someone said, again, just so that everything goes smoothly, but super chats are great, but you lose so much when you get through super chats through YouTube and everything. So PayPal works, but someone said there was like a family and friends.
If you use a family and friends, if you click on family and friends, they don't charge you, so they don't take a percentage of that.
Yes.
So if you family and friends, I would consider y'all family and friends. So just click on that when you guys, if you feel led to send them stuff through there, do that, and it won't take any of that away from them. Yeah,
there was something that we noticed this morning in PayPal. There's the business where it's like you're paying for a service or a good that has to be shipped to you. If you give that way, all funds will be on hold. You can't access those funds for a month. It's 30 days trial or wait or whatever. On PayPal. So you just have to make sure that if people do give, I forget the wording of it, but you can see the difference there because that happened a couple times. And again, it's what PayPal does is they will hold those funds pending the individual that sent them coming back and saying, I've received the goods, so now you can release the funds. So if people have done that, they need to go back into PayPal and just simply let PayPal know, okay, received the goods, now you can release any funds. And that's just something to know. Yeah. So that, again, it's very difficult for us to talk about the finance part of it because we never want anyone to think, I don't know, it's just tough, to be this honest.
Sometimes everybody needs a little help, and that's the thing. It's like you said, you can't build this one on your own. So you're not going to build your way out of it. You're not going to dig enough holes to get out of it. You're just not going to do it. So that's on people's hearts to give. Let them give freely,
Yeah. Well, we do appreciate it. We really do.
Yes,
and
we sure do.
We're going to have weekly updates to show everyone where we're at in progressing on property and where we're at with,
Right.
funds and
Yes.
everything we get is going to go into the Creekside Homestead Fund, every dime, everything that comes to us. You can be guaranteed it's going right into the Creekside Homestead Fund to buy the land. So
Now, are you planning on, just so I had my phone set to where I didn't get any YouTube updates because I don't like to look like this 24/7, like I have to be a mom and things like that as well. But I recently turned it back on, but now I'm like flooded with all these updates. So I miss a lot of stuff too. Do you have a specific day that you're shooting for? Like every day we're going to do an update, or are you just going to say, as we have an update, we're going to give one just because I want to be watching for it?
That's a good question.
Very good question.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday night is our live at 8:00. And
Okay.
so because things are changing very rapidly, and again, we haven't even got answers. Like we can't seem to get a straight answer from the people that did this to us. Do we have to be out tomorrow, next week, next month? We can't even get a straight answer from them.
Okay.
And so that's just keeping us very on edge. However, every Tuesday night, we're going to have an update on where we're at with everything. That's our dog hollering in the background. He wants attention.
That's 8 o'clock your time. So
8
for
o'clock
us,
our time.
that's 6 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, because there's 2 hours
Yes.
difference. So yeah, so that's what we're going to try to do. Even if we don't have big news, we are still going to keep. We kind of drew up a rough diagram this morning of basically like a fundraiser thing, a chart, so people can keep an eye, because we want to show people where we're at. And so we're just going to keep that in front of us and say, okay, here's what we gained this week. Here's where we are as of today.
Right.
And I think what we're going to do is just make a big bunch of blocks and, have each block like $250 because it's easy to figure. 4 blocks makes, 1,000. And every time 250 comes in, we're just going to put a star in that and move on to the next one. And then there'll be 120 blocks, because 120 at 250 is your money, is your 30 grand to buy your land with. So that's kind of an idea we have. But again, we're just trying to be so careful because we don't want anyone offended. We don't want anyone to go and say, oh, they're just trying to, this is very serious for us. And we're going out on a limb here being this transparent. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Well, just remember, there's always going to be somebody that's got to be there to say something. You know what I mean? There's always that person. But outside of that person, you're going to have 100 over here that's saying, how can we help physically, spiritually? Can I pray for you? Financially, people are going to be in your corner that God has put there. Don't let it get you down. There's going to be somebody that has to say something.
Right.
Always is. And so we're ready. We're prepared for that. And we have to be, but, Annette, don't feel bad.
Do not feel bad.
I'll tell you what, for a lot of people say, I wish we could do, here's the biggest thing you can do. And it doesn't have a dollar sign on it. It has folded hands on it. The greatest thing anyone can do is pray.
Right.
Prayer moves mountains. Prayer opens doors. Prayer parts seas. Prayer moves obstacles. It's the greatest single thing you or I or any of us can be doing for each other is praying for each other.
And it also unites us.
Yes.
In your situation here, sorry, I didn't mean it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Go ahead.
Your situation here very well could be a huge opportunity for faith to grow in other people, because Annette specifically has commented on our lives.
Yes.
She's not very religious, doesn't pray that often. Your biggest help is praying for them. She spiritually could really begin an incredible relationship with Christ. So
it could help her grow.
That's right. Well, I believe the words were written once before that the Lord works in mysterious ways.
He does.
So we cannot even begin to comprehend all of his ways. We see the, move my hand over here. We see the tiny, tiny little picture. And of course, God sees the panoramic heavenly view. And so, yeah, we would be more than willing if God wants to use us in that regard. Hopefully, with his grace, we will remain faithful in showing our faith to all of you.
Yeah.
And
And then our Creekside. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This storm, this may not even be for you. This may be to bring somebody else to Christ. You know, if it
Right.
saves one soul, you know, that may be what it's all about. So
Right.
For sure.
That's
And
right. That's right. Because the state the world is in, we're seeing things we've never seen before. We all don't need to get specific on that. Just that generic statement. You all know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So, but people are turning their hearts. People are turning their thoughts toward God, perhaps just like Annette. Maybe it's the first time.
Yeah.
So keep your eye on him.
Yeah, because I know for us, I think John said he must increase and I must decrease. And
Yep.
that's just the way it is. And so you're right. If this means that someone that is struggling with their faith can hear these stories, watch the progress, hear the great reports, listen to the testimonies, perhaps that person used to be, you know, used to have strong faith and now they aren't. Maybe they've given up on God. Maybe they've, you know, haven't prayed in years.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's somebody that just got an awful report from the doctor or is facing the death of a loved one or whatever it may be. If this helps, then okay. You know, if this is what it takes, you know, okay. You know, we'll do that.
When we say, God, use me, we don't always know how he's going to use us. And we just have to be ready. In and out, and ready to share our faith. Our oil and our lamps cannot be going out. We've got to be ready. And
Right.
I would love to see, you know, if once you guys get rolling with this and look at that land and see if that's it, if you're still waiting, I would love to see once you get the land nailed down, what you guys are needing. Are you going to be building this, building that, and just that way everybody can have an opportunity to team together and help, because who knows, somebody right in your backyard may be a master craftsman that's going to come put a shed together that will service as your chicken coop. You know, I don't know. I love the idea to be transparent because so many will want to help.
But I know there's going to be a lot, you know, to do. And I can't think of it all because it's just too big. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I have to, what's today's step? And, you know, okay, so what's the first thing? All right, find land.
Mm-hmm.
Second step, secure money to buy land.
Yeah.
Then from there, it's okay, what do we do? Okay, well, let's clear a spot to put up a tent or something. And then have some kind of small shed built for storage of tools to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so it's just plan after plan, step after step. And I have to be very analytical and very deliberate, because if I don't, I sit down and I'm totally overwhelmed by the fact you're homeless. You've got all the stuff. You've got nothing left. And it totally just shuts you right down. And so you have to, we have to be able to itemize step by step by step.
Absolutely.
And that's the only way we can even deal with this right now. So.
And then it's so much easier when you have 1.5 million things to do to say, okay, this is my goal. Once I get that, okay, now I've reached that goal. It kind of just keeps that fire burning to
Yeah.
Definitely.
step. I'm
Definitely.
I think that's great.
Yeah. Well, God's got it. And that's all we know. God's got it. So
And we will just remain faithful and watch what he does.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Watch him work.
Our dogs are crazy.
I'm so sorry. Our dogs are being
So
crazy.
I'm just super happy that our late night email turned into you guys being not only willing, but willing and available to be on this chat, and just the outpour of everybody, you know, willing to pray for you and anxious to see how we can help as your journey begins. And
Do you want to pull Jesse up and
yeah,
let Jesse say hi?
absolutely.
Jesse has been, I don't know how to post the link, but we're going to see if we can pull Jesse in, because obviously Jesse is he's super great person, and really has a great love for you guys. So visiting with him, I wanted to give him a chance to come up. So Jesse, I know you can hear me. I know you're still in here. So the link is there.
Come on,
So,
Father. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Jesse and Lisa are just the greatest people. They really are. We love them to death, and can't say enough good about them too.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of long conversations. But, it always seems right at the right time. And they're just
Piece of land that you guys are looking at, Tony, did you say that was 30,000 is what that was?
Yeah, that's I think I'm going to try to get them down a little bit, but our goal is just to keep it simple at 30. That way it's good and it's easy, and we just go from there. You know, and so it seems like a lot, but I can't think of it as this huge mountain. I have to think of it as a possibility with God. All things are possible, and that's the only way I can think about it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we will see.
There, I don't know.
It'll take him a minute. There he is.
Coming. Oh,
says devices not connected. They will need to connect their mic and camera before you can add them to the stream. Jesse will get that taken care of. He's like super tech savvy.
He's the mod father. And what's neat, and I think everyone knows this, Jesse and Lisa were the very first moderators on our channels, and
that's what he said yesterday when I was visiting.
Yeah, and it's just been a great friendship, and supporting and all of it. They're really good. And then Jesse's dad, Joe refers to me as that laughing preacher. So
Yes.
But you have to laugh. You've got to find somehow to put a smile on and keep going. It's all you can do,
Yeah.
And you do, you change what you can change, you fix what you can fix, and the rest of it, you got to leave it up to God. That's all you can do,
Absolutely.
But,
We're going to give Jesse another minute because I know he wanted to jump on here.
Okay. Well, he,
That's what I wanted.
he'll get it figured out for sure. He's probably, I know Jesse, and we've spent hours working on editing stuff, and we both use the same editing software, and I had it like 6 months before he started using it. I think he started using it because I told him to try it.
I think Jesse probably regards.
There he comes.
There he is.
There he is.
How y'all doing?
The man, the legend. What do they call it? The man.
Legend.
Myth.
I thought Jesse, not Tim over at Ridge Life.
How y'all doing? It's Tim on Ridge Life. Go Ridge Life.
How are you, my friend?
And the
I'm
mob.
doing good. This is a wonderful live. Thank you, Glenn and Jessica, for allowing them to get on here this morning. I mean, on such short notice, and also not even knowing who they were. That tells me a whole lot about your character. It really does. Appreciate y'all doing this.
He says, there's some people that you can just tell are genuine. And that's it. So I was like, all right, I'm behind you all the way.
Yeah, so we've known Joni and Tony for I guess about a year now, a little over a year. And
Over.
you're right, Tony gave me my first opportunity. In fact, he voluntold me. I needed a moderator, and you're it. I said, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. So I started researching and for what does the moderator do? What is it, and the rest is history. And I can't thank him enough for throwing me in the deep end without arm floaties. It was totally different for me. It's like, when you join something totally new and you're out there and nobody help, and Joni kept encouraging me, well, just do this, just do that, and be there, and attack them trolls when they come, and that kind of stuff. But no, I can't appreciate Tony and Joni enough because they've encouraged us. And Tony, I mentioned it in the chat earlier. You may be going through what you're going through, not for you, but for us. Our faith needs to be strengthened. Our life or our direction needs to be realigned. And then maybe it's using you as that vessel to help everyone else. And Great Farmer, brought up some very good points in there. There's a lot of people in Canada that if they only know what you're going through, they're willing to help. So Jessica said it as well. There's so many people that want to help. So we got to get your story out. We got to make sure that everyone knows that one of ours, and I say one of ours, the people that are in our community are going through something. And, in any way, if it's a prayer or if it's $1 or if it's, manual labor, whatever it is, people want to help and they just need to know. And your story is genuine. I can vouch for Tony and Joni. I've been knowing them for a little over a year now, and we've communicated I don't know how many different ways. And and I've seen them. I've seen them on the hill, and I've seen them in the valley, and everywhere in between. And they're genuine. They're real. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can go look at their videos. Their videos tell their life. Their videos are about what happens to them. Their videos talk about, and they're not out there to just make junk videos, if you will. They're not doing it for that. They're doing it to share their life, their ups, their downs, their family, their daughters and their mother and stuff. So you can look at their videos and tell what kind of people they are. Everybody is going to have a time when when you're going to run into a brick wall and you just can't go anymore, and you're going to have to rely on people. And I was telling Lisa last night, I don't know how you had the strength to even, say anything, because man is prideful, and I'm one. We're prideful, and we don't want to let people know that we have failed or we have run into a situation where we can't do it anymore. It's hard,
Yeah.
So in order for us to realign our thinking and realign our direction, sometimes it takes others to help us get where we need to get to. So I think that your situation is going to help not only you, but it's going to help us as well. Us being whoever's, within earshot of what's going on.
Yeah.
So thank you, Glenn, and thank you, Jessica, for that.
Well, it just reminds us, that, God has given us what we need and then some, but we also have to look back when it says, give me what I need, but not more than I need, lest I forget you. So, we have what we need, and we're able to help. So we want to help. So we want to give freely.
Yes. So, there's, and I don't want to boast, but God has blessed us. And I say bless me. He's given me a home. He's given me excellent employment. I worked for 34 years for a major oil company. I just retired, so I'm blessed. But there's going to be times when there's going to be people that don't have the same blessings. And we like to give. We love. We had a giveaway last night, and we gave away, I think Lisa counted 27 or 28 items. We give because we have. We have because we give. We don't give because we have.
Yes.
And that's our motto. And I think there's a lot of people. Look at Annette. She wants to help. There's a lot of people that want to do what they can. And as much as I've been blessed, I want to give as much as I've been blessed, because I can't take it with me. You've heard that saying, you can't take a U-Haul with you. And I told my wife, when I die, I want you to write me whatever's left in my account. I want you to write me a check and put it in the coffin with me, so I can take it with me. I guarantee you that check will never get cashed.
That's the running joke that what the rich man told his wife before he died. He wanted to take all of his money with him, so she wrote him a check.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, like I said, I'm going to do whatever I can, Tony and Joni, to help you out. This is a good start for them featuring you on their channel, and I think others are going to want to do the same thing. I don't do lives like what Jessica and Glenn do, but if I do another live, I'm definitely going to have you on to help share your story. And for those of you that are in the chat, if you feel so led, share their channels, share their links. If you want to host them, that's fine. But let's get them out there. I want to see them get in the biggest tent they can find.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm kind of bummed that it's only Wednesday. Like, I'm ready for this weekend to be here. I'm ready to see that video uploaded. I want to know what's coming. So we're definitely on this journey with you as much as we can be from the States. We're a day and 5 hours from you, but we're on the journey too. And we'll definitely be praying for you, because that's what we can be doing all the time.
We're just waiting on Jesse to show up with the RV.
I'm ready to go. I just got to fill up and we're gone. That was a good idea, Tony. You can have some kind of a friends and field day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's only gonna be a field, so friends and field day. We can do what we can for a good 36 hours and do the old barn raising, and you can do shed to house. We can build a shed real quick and then put some plumbing in it, and you're an electrician, so I know you can put light in it.
Yeah, it's going to be a totally an off-grid experience, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Well, first, but I think this is going to be, like you said, an excellent opportunity for some great videos, a whole new start. It's kind of like, I don't know if you follow them or not, but there's a channel out there for those that may not know called Simple Life Reclaim and Country Road Cure. They basically uprooted from Las Vegas. Of course, they sold their property and they did all that, but they basically went from that to nothing. They were living in a trailer on 40 acres or 41.36 acres, and they're still not in a home. But they've been for the last year, slowly but surely, building this house, and the communities they have grown that has followed their journey went from, I think they had, when they first started, like 2,000. Now they're up to 50, 60,000. Their community has grown so much, and their support has grown so much. I see that for you as well. And I'm not saying you're doing this because you want support and you want big numbers or nothing, but I can just see the following that's going to result out of the situation that you're in and the videos that you put out. And because people like to see, look at Shane over at Green Farmer. He's wanting to help, and he's right there next to you. So I would reach out to him, and any help he can give, accept it. Don't be proud. It's hard to say yes. It's hard to say, okay, I'll do it. But you're really robbing them of their blessing by not letting them.
The cool thing about it is, as you document this journey, and let's say that your page does blow up, it's that many more people that get to hear your testimony on how God has directed your path and how your faith has grown. It's like, what an incredible opportunity to get the word of God active and live in other people's lives based off of the storm that you're in.
And you never know, this may be your new source of income. You say right now you don't have it, but your channel, the Lord may bless this channel and blow it up for you. So that may be your new source of income. So Tony,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse. No, go ahead, Jesse.
So one thing you said earlier in the chat, you said in the live, you said you're a words man. You said I kind of like to delve in and check the word. You have a Sunday session called Creekside Chronicles.
Yes,
I think it's going to be chronicling Creekside, because you're going to be chronicling everything that's happening in your lives and with your channel. So Creekside Chronicles is so appropriate now because you're going to be chronicling what's happening with the Creekside endeavor or Creekside journey. And it's just going to fit so well. So there's a reason that everything happens.
I think we have to, I've always said this, you have to live a message before you preach a message.
Mhm.
And you have to, be broken before you can, minister to the broken.
Yeah.
And I think those things are real. And we give God glory through all of it, obviously. And to everyone that's helping and wanting to help, regardless of how, it all helps.
Mhm.
But at the end of it, is just the fact that we'll be able to just look back and say, look what God did every step of the way. This was impossible, but he made this possible.
Mhm.
This was impossible, but he made this possible. And all along the way. And so that other people can look at it and go, you know what, if he did it for them, he can do it for us.
Right.
And for us, I'm 55 years old. I'm not young. I'm not old. But I'm not young like I used to be. And to set out and basically start right from the beginning again, it's not as easy as it is when you're 20 or 22 or 25.
Right.
But God blessed me with a strong back and big shoulders. So I'm up for it. So we're going to do everything we can do to do our part. And I know God's going to handle all the rest, and it will be for his glory. It will be.
Right.
Absolutely. Amen to that. This has been an incredible morning. I'm just so grateful that it's Glenn. Glenn's Jesse's the mod father. Glenn's the live guy. Like I'm doing not computer stuff, and he's able to watch in and find this kind of stuff. So I'm really grateful that Glenn was able to find y'all's channel, and you just definitely seem like genuine people. And I'm really excited to be praying for you and watch this journey and watch God work, because he does things we can never expect and imagine, and leads us down paths that we never expect. And it's incredible.
Yeah,
And let me say one thing before I get off, because I know you got to go. You're fixing to go, but thank you everybody for attending our first live yesterday. It was so wonderful to be able to share with everybody, and congratulations to both of you guys, because both of y'all won yesterday. And
Yes.
so, thank y'all for helping us out. And once again, Tony, thank you for allowing us to share your channel yesterday on our live. We wanted everybody to come over there to visit with you, not because of this, but we wanted them to come visit and understand who you guys are. And Tony and Jessica were able, Glenn and Jessica were able to do that. And there was a reason. Thank God that they even reached out. So,
yeah, well, we appreciate it. And I know everyone is winding down here, but thank you to everyone. Jesse, thank you so much for shouting our channel out and directing people this way, and all of this. You guys, you and Lisa are just, top notch. We love you. We love you.
Oh, we love you too.
And Glenn, Jessica, thank you. This means so much.
It does.
Because you can get the feeling like you're all alone in this journey. You really can. Because we went from, and I know we have to go, but we went from ministering to hundreds of people every week, sometimes thousands, to not a lot of interaction. And you can really get the feeling like you're all alone and that nobody cares. You really can. The devil will feed that to your brain, and you start believing it some days that, you're all alone. And then all of a sudden, God opens your eyes to a beautiful community of people that absolutely are there for you in an amazing way. And for that, we are so thankful to everybody, to each and every one, to all you guys. We can't thank you enough. And we'll keep everyone updated, and we'll definitely stay in touch with everybody.
Please do.
We will. And you know, Jesse, we said we always talk. So, but we'll definitely, Glenn and Jessica will definitely stay in touch with you guys and everybody out there, and update everybody as to every miracle every week.
Mhm.
You know, we didn't have like I said in the beginning, we didn't have a topic to talk about this morning, and we do now, but this has been the largest live that we've had since we've started doing them. So,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
it was no accident, you know, coming across your guys' video yesterday and just skipping to the part that I skipped to, and it was no accident. So we're thankful for you guys being on here, happy to help whichever way we can. And Jesse, if you want to throw that link up one more time to their PayPal, that would be great. And if anybody wants to help, you know, just feel free to give if you want to. If not, a prayer, you know, a prayer is great.
Yes,
So
please pray.
money and prayers. So, and then
I want to say again quickly, thank you, Glenn and Jessica. You were very instrumental today. I guess it started last night when you felt to go and watch that replay. Like you said, that was a little bit out of your norm, but God knew. But you were obedient.
Yeah.
What's the Bible say about that?
Yeah.
Obedience is better. And so thank you.
Yeah.
So we've got brand new friends here. And we have faithful, I'm not going to say the word old, Jesse, faithful friends.
Oh, God.
over here. And look what God has done just here on this screen.
absolutely.
And my last word I want to say before I forget, we are so rich today in all of you. You have enriched our lives more than you will ever know. Only God knows what tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year holds. And
For
if
sure.
any of our plans get a derailment and all of you still here today, think back to this moment. Go back and watch this replay on this channel for these fine folks. I am so excited. I see triple blessing here today. And I'm not going to get real preachy because I'm not the preacher. I'm the preacher's wife. But I know what I see and I know what I feel. And I believe we're going to see triple blessing here today in these 3 amazing channels and lives represented, because you know what? God's always looking for a vessel.
Yeah. So thank you.
We're
Well,
happy. So I know that.
I'm only mad because Glenn thought about bringing you on first. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
You're
Just
a little more instrumental, Jesse. You had way more people in there than I did for your first live. Like 3
Yeah,
people.
we had 101 likes. That was
I know. Well,
on it.
Jesse,
That's crazy.
Jesse, you're so busy now. You've got to do up packages and get to the post office.
No, I delegate that work.
there you go.
Yeah.
Glenn?
Totally.
Hey, Pop.
You
I see
don't.
Pop's back there in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hello.
He lives here as well. So he usually
Awesome.
watches most of the live from his phone in his little apartment area, but he usually jumps in at some point to say hi. So this is
Wow.
part of the package.
Awesome.
So Jessica,
Nice
one
to
word of warning though, if you get an email and in the email it comes from Creekside and it says anything about moderator in the text or the subject, delete it. And it's spam. It'll change
Right.
it
It's been a fun journey, Jesse.
It has been.
Sure. So
That's good. Well, I will. Anybody else have anything else they want to add before? I hate to to turn it off with so
And I
much
say, we
still
don't have
active,
any,
but
we don't have anything to go right now. So
I just don't want to keep everybody here like, come on, let's go. We're kind
If
of
anyone has any questions, we'll gladly answer them. Perhaps, if somebody does want to ask anything.
Yeah, I have one. I have one, so I can ask in front of everybody in the chat. So Tony, Joni, you said in your chat during the chat that or during the conversation that you did the current owners that are trying to sell have not given you any time, date. I mean, we're talking 30 days, 90 days, 100 days, whatever. If they come back tomorrow, let's say, and they say, we need you out in 90 days. Is there any opportunity to negotiate with the new owners, some sort of a deal for an extension on just to get your affairs in order?
Yeah.
Is there any possible opportunity to talk to the new owners?
I really don't know because we don't know who they are.
Right.
It's very hush hush. I had a conversation with the people that pulled this stunt a couple of days ago, and I maintained my composure. I was kind, but I was passionate, and I very plainly stated to them that it's an impossibility to expect to for us to be out of here in 30 days. I said,
Right.
It's an impossibility for us to be out of here in 60 or even 90 days, because first off, there is so much to take down. The mill alone, just taking it apart and transporting it, that's a solid week or more to just do that.
Right.
So, and the only answer I got was, well, you've given us lots to think about. And that was their response. So we are totally in the dark as to, I really don't know any of those things, Jesse. And I'm sorry that I can't give you a better answer, but
Yeah, that's fine. I was just wondering if that was an opportunity.
Yeah, but again, we don't know. It may not be. I don't know. I'm hoping that we can at least negotiate that part of it. I would hope to appeal to their humanity at least. That, okay, you pulled this stunt and you totally upset our entire life here. Can you at least give us some time to get things in order? Because if we can get the land purchased, at least then we have a destination.
Mhm.
Right.
We can have a place to put stuff. I can put a shed together pretty quickly and put tools and have things on site
Mhm.
at least. But it's going to take. God can do all things. I'm not underestimating the power of God. I mean, the finance could be in place in the next 24 hours if God chooses so, if he so will it.
Right.
But for us, we have to be realistic. And for them, they have got to be willing to negotiate that, Jesse, because if not, I have no clue. Because then you're looking at storage. Well, storage containers here, they start at $250 a month. Well,
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna.
Yeah.
We've already sold.
I'll be right back.
We've already sold a few things, and that's one of our biggest. One of our biggest game plans is selling what we can sell. A lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if anything, we just need to pray for favor.
Definitely. Oh, I have been praying that ever since. Well, for a long time, my life, but specifically since last Thursday. God, your favor on your will as you order our steps.
Yeah. It's easy to ask for what we want, but it's hard to turn it over and say, hey, I'm praying for what you want, because I don't know what.
I'll tell you something else that's been a fresh new life lesson. And this isn't our first rodeo, so to speak. You live long enough, you're going to go through stuff. This is our first one of this nature, but we've been through, and Jesse, you and Lisa know some of the stuff we have shared. But I am learning all over again. Sorry, I don't mean to point my fingers at you. Tony always gets at me for that. He's like, Tony, you seem like you're lecturing people. I just talk with my hands. I am learning all over again how the stuff we say to people and the word we know, the scriptures we know, but you know what? You preach it to yourself. and you try that out on yourself. We've all encouraged people in the past, oh, God's got a plan, God's got a will, God's keeping you, all of those stuff you learn in Sunday school. But you start preaching that to yourself and you see how it resonates with you.
Right.
That's quite a thing right there. That's a whole life lesson right there. And I've been in this thing my whole life. I was raised in a minister's home. But you know what? When you preach it to yourself, there's something there.
Yeah.
Preach to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be in a rodeo, I'm prepared. I got my cowboy hat. I'm ready to ride.
There you go.
And where's the deer at, Jesse?
Oh, it's up on the wall. Those are my trophies.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about my wife, deer. I thought you were she's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
she's probably doing the work in the back, getting the packages ready. She's been working on that. She was up till probably 2:00 in the morning, just getting everything lined up, finding addresses, and wow, it was like 27 items, and there was a lot of channels that donated. It was amazing. I was floored.
Our guy.
Yeah, we thought we were just going to get Glenn and Jessica and Tony and Joni show up to the live, and it was way past that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to enjoy our vanilla.
I have to say though, Jesse, I hate to think of the shipping of that item up here.
It won't be that bad, I got 2 kidneys, so I can give one of them away. Oh, it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
Unless I send it to you like an ounce at a time.
Yeah.
In an envelope.
There you go. A little bit.
But you know what?
Here a little, there a little.
Then you'd be under suspicion. The border would really be watching that.
Yeah.
That's true.
But again, Glenn and Jessica, thank you guys so much. So much. And I know you all have needs in your life. Everybody does, of some nature. So just be on the lookout for some blessings headed your way too.
Great Farmer Freelance asked a question there. He said, is it a portable mill? And it is kind of, but I do not have it on a trailer. It's secure to a platform that I built specifically for the mill. So it all has to be unbolted and taken apart and lifted and placed on my trailer, and it's a lot of work.
I think there'll be a lot of hands on deck. So just keep staying transparent with everybody, keeping everybody up to date, and heck, you may have multiple work days where people are able to show up and help with the move and help with the setup, and it may blow you away where you got too many people willing to help. So
well, we certainly appreciate it, and I think for us too, one of the, it's they always said survival is all, they always tell you what are the 3 main things you need. Well, you need food, you need shelter, and you need water. And so that's kind of the way we're looking at it is, we've got lots of canned goods and items and food and stuff and all that stuff in the freezer. So we're good there. Mm-hmm. But we have to, once we're on site, of course, it's all about having some shelter set up and having things like that. So I do have an old outfitter's tent. It's a walled tent and it's got a little stove in it and stuff. So, hopefully the rats didn't chew any holes through it, but we'll put that up, and that's what we'll use on site for the time being. Mm-hmm. And then having Joni's mom so close, we can go to her place, and there's always room there to shower, and there's a lot of stuff there that'll work out that is convenient for her being there too. So just one day at a time.
We'll definitely be in prayer. Hopefully this is the property that ends up being the one, and obviously her mom, and that it'll all work out, but just pray for the Lord will be done. So
that's right.
Yeah, for sure. And it will be.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to throw the link in case anybody else? Well, he said if anybody else had any questions or anything, which I think it seems like everything's pretty there. But if anybody else has anything they'd like to personally say, welcome to.
Questions, encouragement.
Yeah, encouragement. Obviously, I'll kick you out of here, and it's not. I ain't having none of that. But all right, there we go. So, Jesse, the best. Glad to have
Thank you. All I can say is thank you. Thank you, Tony, Joni, for allowing us into your lives.
Thank you for being part of our lives.
Yeah, digitally and literally allowing us into your lives.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We love you, man.
We love you too. Y'all stay safe and keep your chin up. In my case, keep my chins up. And
That's why you keep the beard going, Jesse. Nobody will see him.
that's true. That's, well, yeah, I'll keep my chins up if you keep your chin up. And
Just gotta keep growing the beard longer and longer and longer.
not till Christmas.
That's right, Santa. Yeah. I think we're probably the first channel you were ever Santa Claus on, are we?
Yeah, you're right. You're first for a lot of things. Oh no.
Oh my.
Looks
Well,
like
That's
the
awesome.
Mennonite farmhouse just showed up. Looks like she's gonna have to go back and watch the replay. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
did Blue Farm. Blue Farm just showed up. I hope they can go back and watch the replay.
Blue Farms was in here earlier, but I think they left and came back. I think they've kind of been in and out a little bit, but well, if
Yeah,
nobody
hopefully,
jump on or
hopefully
has
this
questions
coaches
or anything like that, it's hard to shut it down when you still have 25 people in here just listening and enjoying the conversation. It's hard to want to get off of there, but
yeah.
it's a feeling
Yeah.
like we hold everybody up like half their day. Every time we get a lecture, it's like we've been well over an hour, looking at 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, people keep hanging around, so I hate to just nix it.
So I know what the distance is between Texas and where you're at, Tony and Joni, but what's the distance between Missouri and where you're at? Is it like 12
To
hours?
drive,
it's
yeah,
8
from Dal-
from us.
It's 1 day and 5 hours.
when you're ready to leave.
So
When you're ready to leave. I like that.
Yeah,
So-
and my 2 oldest boys can go, and Easton and I'll stay here and feed all the animals. And I mean, I'm used to doing it all here, anyways.
Well, for me in the RV, it's like a 2-week journey.
Yeah.
So how long
2
What?
weeks.
did you say?
2 weeks.
Well, you
Yeah.
can.
I can only drive like maybe 400 miles a day, or from let's say 9 to 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm the one that does all the driving. Lisa doesn't drive. I'm the only one that does all the driving. So,
Jesse, I'll drive with you.
okay.
I don't like you that much. He can let you drive his bus.
Yeah. So you'll have to fly down to Houston. I'll pick you up at the airport and we'll go.
Why would you do that, Dragon? You
You'll,
can't.
you'll be coming right past us anyways.
Oh, okay. Well, so I have to drive all the way from here to Missouri, which is
Yes.
probably
Your first leg.
15 hours.
That's
It's kind of in the middle of the map, isn't it?
Where in Texas are you?
Houston.
And how many hours?
The great state of Texas. Houston, the great state. Just put that, Google that, and you'll find it. Nobody likes
Yeah.
Texas because it was
Wait
heat, though.
days ahead and see what comes up here.
I know it's because I've never been to Missouri, but I know it'd be a pretty good. It's almost a straight line from
You're
here.
11
Yeah.
hours, Jesse.
How many?
Yeah.
11 and a half.
One
from
of them
us.
says
That's what's up for 12 hours.
11 hours, 7 minutes. So yeah, if you're going 4 hours a day, you're going to be 3 days to get here. Maybe you go 6 hours a day getting here too.
Well, let me tell you something funny. From here to you is 11 and a half or maybe 12 hours. If I go from here to El Paso, I'm still in the state of Texas, and it takes 12 hours to get to El Paso.
Oh my
So I can
God.
go across Texas and still be in Texas, or I can go straight up and be almost to the Canadian border.
Right.
Well, you got
It says swing through Pennsylvania and pick her up.
yeah, you'll have to start a what they call it, the convoy.
You're gonna bus, Jesse.
A caravan?
Caravan. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
People haul.
Yeah. And the border that you would cross at would be Holton, Maine.
No, it would be I don't caravan because I don't care who jumps on. Just jump on. We're going to Canada. We're going to do a barn racing. So
You're coming to work. You need to let you work. Get in.
Canada's going to shut us down at the border. They ain't going to let us all in.
Oh, they're pretty
No,
good.
they would.
They're gonna see
They
me with
would.
a van load of people and say, "Oh no, there's something suspicious here." And a Mexican driving? No.
We
This
got
ain't
ourselves a
fine.
coyote.
I must see the papers. Yeah, they're gonna be all over me. Every time we go to the airport, Lisa and Ian, my son, they walk right on through, and I get waved and wand and prodded and poked, and I got to go through the whole works. It must be the beard.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I just no respect.
Yeah, for sure. Leanne says she will cater the barn. She said.
That sounds good.
That's what she said.
Don't dare me, Leanne. I will swing through Pennsylvania. That's not a fur piece.
Yeah,
That's
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. There's so many people on here. It's so good.
Killing it,
Really?
grilling it. That's a neat name.
Hey, now I said I was staying here to hold down our homestead, but if Leanne's cooking, I have to like hire a farmhand for a few days.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
to-go box with Glenn.
yeah. That's the thing too. We don't know. I mean, you got to find a way to move all your animals. I mean, it's a headache. It's just so stressful. There's so many parts and pieces to this thing that it's complicated, because you can't pack up 25, 30 chickens and move them 6 hours without having a good chicken coop for them to be put into. There's so many things, and just step after step after step, and you have to like do this part, then this part, then this part, and yeah, it's overwhelming, like I said before, but it'll just have to work out.
Now, what all animals do you guys have?
Oh, well, how many chickens we got now?
Right now, we just have all our chickens because we do the meat birds, which obviously that's for a season, and then we did our pigs again just for a season. Okay. We don't keep pigs like breeder pigs. Yeah. So it's our chickens and of course our dogs.
Chickens and 4 dogs, 2 gorillas, 1 zebra, and no, I'm just kidding. But hey, Lisa.
I found her. She was hiding.
Yeah. But the biggest thing too is I already had ordered our Meat Kings because that's a huge part of what we do here. Because we do 200 meat birds a year, and at $4 a pound, you can make a pretty decent bit of money for small time anyway. But now I've got to cancel all of those. There's so many things that this has done and changed. I mean, everything. You like we said, I think yesterday. I said, do we even bother tilling the garden? Do we plant the garden? And then get it planted for what? To have to, oh, by the way, you got 30 days left, so it affects, like we depend on the garden, raising the chickens, raising the pigs. All of that is part of our yearly food source. Because to afford to, you just can't afford to go to the grocery store. It's an impossibility.
In a container that could be moved.
What's that?
Could you grow stuff in some containers that could be moved? Portable?
Probably not.
That would be the only way.
That would be the only way.
Yeah.
But if I was probably going to do that, I would try to just because our garden here is 5,400 square feet. It's huge. I mean, it's a big garden.
No,
well,
yes,
so
but
for the purpose of selling.
Yeah, because we raise all of our own food, plus we sell some. So what I was contemplating is zeroing in, just paring that all down to what's the necessities
Mhm.
to can and get us through the year.
Mhm.
So instead of planting anything that we don't need or wouldn't necessarily always eat a lot of,
Mhm.
Right.
what are the things that we can just concentrate on and then put them in the smaller containers or the portable pots or whatever, like tomato plants, we can put them in the big black totes, buckets, whatever, and we can, take them with us wherever we're at. So we would have, our tomatoes and our ketchup and our barbecue sauce and our red sauce and all that stuff. So, things like that we're forced to think about that now.
Mhm.
Whereas before it's, May's here. Let's get tilling. Let's get it in the garden and let's let it grow. Everything has totally shifted in a week and a half. And
It's a
so
logistical nightmare for you.
it is.
Right.
Farm, we'll get to you in just a second. Yeah.
So,
Lisa had a question.
so I don't know if I missed the beginning of the live, because I was sleeping. So if these people did what they did last year again and came back and wanted to sign a new contract again, would you consider that? Or I know they've just broken your trust and everything, and that's understandable, or would you just say no, thank you? We're moving on.
I can answer that real quick and real easy because we talked about that very thing.
Mhm.
To us, trust is the foundation of every relationship.
Mhm.
Of course.
If you destroy the trust, you have no relationship. So now they've destroyed it. There is no relationship left for us to have with them to where we could trust anything that they say or do. So no,
Okay.
we're done. Not
was
going to play
wondering.
these games. Not going to
Yeah.
play these games. This is the second time in 5 months. Not going to play these games anymore. It's done. It's
And the thing is like you could have been looking before now,
exactly
Right.
place, and spent the money that you spent for another 5 months to be where you're at to go to waste.
that's
So,
it.
Exactly.
So, and that's another thing I discussed with them on the phone, yesterday or day before. They were, well, okay, so what about your payments, and are you going to keep those up until? And I told them flat out, I said, you did this. We didn't instigate this. You did this. So for us to be able to save money, to have some funds, then no more payments, because you've got your money coming. Somebody's giving you $200,000-$300,000. You're not getting any more of mine. What's the worst you're going to do? Evict me?
Right. Yeah.
And that may not sound right. And maybe that was a little bit of my emotions talking, but I can't do both. And that's what I told them. I said, I can't, if we're here a month or 2 months or 3 months, whenever your date is,
I'm out.
I can't keep dumping money into your pockets so you can have spending money and then still be able to save money to buy another, place for us. I can't do both.
I think Joe is asking, are these people brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus? I'm assuming that these people is the ones that you're like in the land agreement with currently.
No. I mean, loosely, they may consider themselves whatever, but in my books, I'm pretty cut and dry. Jesse knows that. And Lisa knows that. I'm pretty, there's not a lot of gray area with me. And so there's that whole idea that, under the umbrella of Christ-like, that umbrella has gotten really loose and really large. And some people just don't care what they do. And it's a feeding frenzy right now in financial real estate markets up here. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's what
We
it is.
have
So.
a blue farm that's patiently been waiting to jump in. So Jesse, I hate to
No,
kick you
we,
out,
we,
keep
we-
you or add 4, whichever you prefer. Because we can just keep adding.
So
No, no.
Is that okay?
it's whatever you want to do. We're happy to drop off if you want to let some other people on. We'll make the stream.
All
Can-
our packets get
can we-
ready.
You, Jesse?
Okay,
Say
we're
yeah?
gonna put the blue farm. There we go. Now, if you can remove the comment, it'll show who it is.
You just made me look wider now. Thank you.
We cut off Dad's head and everybody's.
What was that old show on TV years ago? Something Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. We've got our own edition of Hollywood Squares going on.
And then you go like this.
How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to come up and say hi, introduce myself. That was it. I saw you guys drop the link.
I'm glad you did.
And what was your name?
I've
Nikki.
never met you. I've seen your
Yeah.
name.
Very nice to meet you, Jesse.
I see you in a lot of chats, but I just never met you face to face.
Yeah.
Your face, yeah. And now I can see why they call it Blue Farm.
Yeah, they call me Blue.
Is your hair always blue? Is that consistent?
It has been for the past month, and I'm going to keep it this way. I did it because my son is autistic, and blue is for autism.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought there was something wrong with the water.
What is that? Too much iron, people turn blue.
Yes. Oh no, I was going to say you have a lot of tropical water. That looks like-
That's funny.
Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, very nice to meet
Where
everybody.
you guys located? What state?
I'm up in Washington State. I was actually originally from Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised. But we moved up to Washington about 2 years ago and started our homestead.
Lisa's from Roseburg, Oregon.
Okay.
Up there, yeah, same neck of the
Wow.
woods, if you will. Woods.
Right.
Now, are you? I'm not trying to get personal or anything, but are you by yourself? Are you with husband? Do you have partner?
I am married.
Okay.
My husband has his own channel. He's more in the beer drinking community, the party and hanging out community, which is kind of where I spend a lot of my time because I have a lot of friends over there. But I'm trying to branch out more into the homesteading, farming community.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the best communities to be in because there's a lot of great people in this community, and we're not even homestead. Well, this is our homestead. We live in a suburban neighborhood, and we claim this as our homestead. So we're suburban steaders, right?
Okay.
We do what we can to prep and to cut corners and save money wherever we can.
Yeah.
And Lisa loves to can and cook and all that kind of stuff, and I love to eat. So it's a it's an excellent match.
That's cool. Hey, Chris and Larry, thank you.
Oh, about darn
I was gonna say
time.
we're gonna have to pull Shane in here in a minute. Great Farmer Freelance. So he's tired of you ignoring him, Tony, on taking him up on his offer. So he's gonna jump on.
We've tied him up with any tech here. So I'm going to add him in. If anybody wants to jump out, that's fine. If you want to hang
I
in.
can jump out. I just really wanted to pop up and say hi and introduce myself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah. Very nice to meet you guys.
All right.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Gotcha. Okay, now I want to see if I can. There we go. I like that better.
Hey.
Hey, Shane.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
How you
Shane.
doing, guys? Tony, you guys need any hand doing anything, you got to let me know. I'm a bull. I can, and I'm good at taking orders, and I can work like you wouldn't believe. I am going to help you out as well. But again, and I have many skills, many skills that I would be more than happy to to utilize for you guys. I just wanted
We
to say
appreciate
that. I was really touched by you guys, and everybody here, Jesse, Lisa, poor guys, gathered together. I just met you guys, all you guys, in the last week or so, and you guys made an impact on me. Again, I've come from a really bad place 2.5 months ago, and because of this, because of YouTube, because of you people, I believe that there are good people left, and I'm coming out of it. And you know what? The help that I've got, I will give it back somehow, some way. And by doing my channel or by helping you, Tony and Joni, I'm in Truro. I'm in Truro, Nova Scotia, and I know how to drive.
Okay.
And you know, and also, you know, the skills I have. I was in the logging industry in British Columbia for 6 years. I was in the lumber industry in Ontario, selling lumber overseas for 4 years. I'm a heavy equipment operator by trade. I'm an animal lover. And you know, I got lots of other skills. And again, I'm a bull, and I like to learn. So I'm going to put that out there. I dropped my email for you. All you got to do is email me. I can give you my phone number. You can call me if you're not feeling well, if something's not right. Tony, any of you in the chat, if you're not feeling well, get a hold of me, because if it wasn't for you guys and it wasn't for YouTube, I probably wouldn't be here today, to be honest. 2 months ago, I had a plan to get out here, and I don't need it anymore because of you people and my YouTube journey. So I have to pay it back forward 100%. And my mind, my body, everything is willing to do that. So thank you so very much, guys. I'm going to drop down. I just want to come up and tell you guys that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait,
whatever you guys want.
Wait,
Let me
before
know.
you drop off, first of all, thank you for that. That's awesome thing to do. Your heart is enormous. But I got to ask you, where did you get your name? Your Great Farmer Freelance. Are you a farmer? Or are you a great farmer?
I'm not a farmer. I'm not even a farmer. I tell people this all the time. It's hilarious. I made this channel up a long time ago, or made the name up, because I got into YouTube as a Joe Rogan fan, and I wanted to watch his podcasts. So I had to make some kind of Great Farmer Freelance. Just popped in my head, and I put it down, and it's taken off. It's, again, I never even touched tech 2.5 months ago. I wasn't even the guy with the cell phone. I hate cell phones. My last 20 years of employment, I worked for a college, for the Nova Scotia Community College. We had 13 campuses that I ended up looking after. And, you know, I did it for the last 20 years. And again, this is where I ended up not enjoying people, because I was a shop steward. So I had to deal with a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, people, being a shop steward, you can take the problems to the employer and to the union. But when you got your union and your employer kissing each other behind the corner, it really makes a shop steward's life miserable. And when you're getting it from all sides, and I did it for 20 years. So, you know, again, I'm here. I want to help. I need to help. I need help. You guys make me feel better by me being able to help. So don't forget that, Tony and Joni.
Okay. Well, we
you
get
guys are helping other people. You guys are helping other people by letting us help you.
when we get our land and we know where we're going to be, we'll let everyone know, and we'll set some days and weekends where we just try to get as many people as we can, and then we'll just hit it and go at it and see what comes out of it. That's what we'll do. So we appreciate it.
For sure.
Thank you. Yes.
No problem. Thanks, everybody. Take care. I'll see you guys again. I follow you guys constantly. I love everything you guys are doing. You guys are an inspiration to me too. I'm learning from you guys. Don't forget, I'm learning
Shane,
from you guys.
Your name fits perfect for this community, though. Just letting you know. Just saying.
You know what? It's such a weird thing, Jess. It's such a weird thing how it is, how it became, and how it's gone on, and the amount of support and help that I get and everybody that's in the chat, all my favorite channels, of course, all of you guys. It's been uphill ever since. And there's no, I'm so far up here now that I can't even see the ground anymore. So I'm so happy. I am so happy.
Well, good.
I'm
That's
glad
good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so very
encouragement.
much.
See you, Shane.
Okay.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I don't want me in the middle.
You are the host. You are the
You're
host.
the host. Oh, you don't want us
Don't
there.
want us.
This is Harley, everybody.
There, that's better.
There
That's
we
what I'm-
go.
That's
There you go.
thinking.
He didn't have your last names Harley everybody or Harley Stoddard.
Yeah, Harley, everybody. He's Harley's a very he's quite attached to me, and he senses like when things aren't quite right. He can sense that, and
Right.
so
Our dog-
he'll want to be up here on my lap, and he'll look up at me, and he's kind of saying, "It's gonna be okay, Dad." That's kind of what he's saying. He's a good boy.
Say our dog's kind of the same way. If one of the boys or something's not feeling well or something, you can always find him by their bed or wherever they're laying down. That's where he can be. So
Well, Harley's kind of an inspiration. I was actually in Neosho, Missouri, working.
okay.
That's where he came
That's where
from.
he came from.
And I was putting in a dog bath at a shop where they clip like dogs, shear dogs, and all that stuff. So anyway, I took some stuff out to the dumpster, and this little tiny dachshund puppy kept running around my feet. And so anyway, long story short, we tried to find out who he was. No one claimed him, so he came home with us, and he's been with us ever since. But we can learn so much from him because he's missing his right hip joint. He has seizures every now and again. He has some arthritis and spinal issues. 3 years ago, the vet wanted to have him put down, euthanized, because his hips went out on him. And I said, no, you're not. So I learned how to actually do some homeopathic stuff for dog spinal issues and hips and all that, and nursed him back to health. And now he just runs and goes. And no matter how bad he's feeling or anything, he always wants to be loving and running and all of it. So he's quite an inspiration to have around. He lets us know that even when it's tough and rough and all that, you just keep going.
I think he's just as attached to you as Joni is.
Yeah.
I don't see Joni licking your ears.
No. There's some things we don't put on screen.
Oh, I just make him chocolate cake. That's it.
Yeah, I see that. We follow you on Instagram, so we know what he gets.
Yeah, but anyway, it's all good.
Well, you guys, it's been great. Like I said, I hate to jump off if people are still on, but I was gonna say it's been very inspirational, very, very great having all of you on here, and
All the people in the comments, the encouragement, the ones that have jumped up and joined us, the ones praying. I can't get over Annette at Apple Tree. She's going to be praying. Like that's a big deal coming from a woman who a week or two ago told me she doesn't really pray much in one of our streams. So I'm blessed to be witnessing people being encouraged to have a relationship, built on truth in Christ, and, wanting to reach out and develop a relationship with Christ just based on a simple YouTube live and people being there to encourage it. So it's been
we'll keep everyone updated, and maybe we can, a month from now or whatever, we can regroup and do this all over again and give an update to everybody or whatever, and just kind of keep everybody in the loop, sort of thing. So
we look forward to it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
There's the big red.
I guess if I have to.
All right.
All
You
righty.
all have a blessed day.
Well, we love you. Thank you guys so much.
We're
and,
in
again,
weekend.
Yeah.
each and every one.
We
Yeah,
wait.
pray that pray that this piece of ground, there's a couple we're going to look at, but I'm really feeling good about the one with the creek on it, because then we can maintain the whole Creekside idea. And, you know, so.
But we
hopefully
have a
it'll work.
water source.
Yeah. And there's water there. So
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yes.
Even if you know, you can just build a little reservoir, put a crock down and have water run into it. At least it's something. You're not without water, and you can run it through a filter and make it usable and pottably. So that's kind of what we're hoping, but we'll see. We will see. So
Tony, do us
Updated.
do us a favor, Tony, by documenting as much as you can. You can always delete footage, but once you do something and you go, man, I should have recorded that, you can't do it again. It's just not there. You can always delete, but you can't.
I'll glue the GoPro right to my forehead.
There's a lot of people interested in following this journey. So
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a journey, that's for sure.
yes.
So well, you all take care too, and
Thank you.
I guess we're gonna get back at it too and get some work done today and see where we got a lot to do before the weekend. So, but thank you for having us on. We appreciate it. Thank you for opening your live and your hearts to us, and for everybody that's there for us and encouraging us with prayer and just, you know, reaching out and offers to help and whatever it may be. We really, really, really do appreciate it.
Definitely.
And the Lord's going to bless each and every one for sure.
And I have to say, before I forget, I've been meaning to say this. Glenn and Jessica, I love all the wood in your background there.
Yeah. That's nice.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing we like it too, because it's in the whole house.
Good.
Well, that's what we want to build. That's what it's going to look like. So, but
Well, you got a way to do it. That's for sure.
yeah.
We didn't do it. We didn't want it like this, but we like it. You get to read women of looking at it.
Yep. Well, thank you guys for coming on, Tony and Joni. We appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your story and opening up a little bit so everybody else can kind of get an idea of what's going on, and they can decide how they want to go about it from there. But
Well, thank you,
Jesse, Lisa, good to see you guys again.
Good to see you.
Likewise. Yeah. Likewise.
And Jesse and Lisa, you guys just did that so professional last night. You did. I was just back here just cheering you on. We all, and Lisa, I'll take a picture and text you. My mom got up this morning, got dressed, and guess what she is wearing? She's wearing your shirt. I've never even seen it on her. I said, I'm going to send Lisa a picture.
Yeah, but you wore our shirts on your live last night.
I know.
We appreciate that.
We did.
Yep. Just showing the support.
That is the least we can do.
For sure. So, well, all righty, folks. I got to put this dog down.
That video.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Nice
Bye-bye.
meeting you, Glenn and Jessica.
Nice to
Take
meet
care, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.